When I first get to the seafront, it always takes me a while to get used to the cold and the wind. So many things so easily upset me. And then once I've been down the seafront, I feel happier, I feel less overwhelmed, and I feel like another day is worth experiencing.
I'm an artist as well, so I got lots of inspiration from there. So I'll come home with photographs, and then that will influence my artwork in some way. But you know, when I'm down there too, I'll meet a group of maybe 10 or 12 friends, and we'll all take our chairs, because we're golden oldies, and we'll just sit in a circle, and we'll take food and drink and whatever. And then, you know, there's lots of things going on evenings, beach jams and fires and things going on, and they're normally very good how they take care of all that. And it's lovely. You can be part of that if you want to. They're very, very inclusive.
Sit on the beach one day and have jams with our guitars. A few weeks of doing this, other people started coming along, and before we knew it, it started to grow and grow and grow, and we ended up having masses of people turning up to these beach jams. Always have a campfire, lots of singing and guitars, and watch the stars and the moon reflecting on the stillness of the horizon.
I used to live in Portsmouth when I was young, and we used to get the bus down, the number 2 down, and go fishing on the pier. And you know, that was glory days for us kids. It was a day out. Southsea seemed like the place to be, you know. Everyone came from all around to visit the beach and the seafront. It was a massive draw, really, it still is. And these days, I mean, I swim every day in the sea, and I cycle along the seafront early in the morning and watch the sunrise. Don't think there's a better place to live, really. I love the wildness of the beach, the plants that grow on there. Yeah, it's really helped me with my illness as well. I watch the sunrise nearly every day, and it's a new beginning. It's rather than looking at the end of life, I'm still looking for, you know, a new start every day, rather than look at the end of days, you know. So I'm still optimistic.
I've lived down at Eastney for going on 18 years, and it's my happy place, the sea.
I came down in 1975, and I first became aware of the seafront through a news photograph of the pier burning down. So that was '74, and I think I saw it in the Daily Mirror.
First visited as a child in the late 50s on a Sunday school outing from inner London. It just felt sort of spacious, and that was a big thing, because where I lived, your view of the sky, it was like being in a fish tank looking up. You saw the sky as a long slot between the terraced houses, and here you saw the sky and it was overall.
I'm lucky enough to live very close to the seafront in Southsea. We spend a lot of time down there. My wife's an open water swimmer, so she swims all year round. But it's interesting because we get to see such a diverse cross-section of life down in Southsea when you're there.
My earliest memories of Southsea is going to Sallyport with my mum and brother Peter and brother Paul, and having paste sandwiches and sherbet lemonade. Mum used to make the sherbet lemonade, but it's sherbet and water.
Taking my wife and daughter onto the front, maybe down to the sea, having a dip and maybe a picnic. One time we took a brand new mother care buggy with us. The daughter's very, very young. We sort of parked it on top of the near the pavement, and then we went down to the beach, and when we came back it was gone.
What's amazing was how full the beaches were. You know, the beaches were packed, and at the Royal Naval Ship Review there was over 220 ships, and the beaches were packed solid with people. And when you think of it now, when they do a fleet review, there's usually about 25 ships if we're lucky, and that includes a few canoes that are pushed out, you know. So how time's gone by, 100 years from 225 warships down to 25.
A few days later we were down there and there was a huge Bengali party, and they laid out a gazebo and tons of food, and then there was 40 or 50 people there. But the lovely thing was, once they cooked the food and they had more than enough, they were walking around offering people plates of food. It was such a lovely thing to do, and it sort of created this atmosphere that was lovely to be around.
What I do is I make bat boxes and bird boxes and little bug hotels, and so what I will be doing between now and spring is making lots of little bug hotels to go along the seafront, along the seashore itself. That will add to the biodiversity of the city.
When I looked at some old photos of myself on the beach, I also found my nan on the beach. It's the same beach, and that's my dad. And then I started to think about what a great seafaring town we are, and because all my ancestors going back were all in the Navy really, and I've got lots of pictures of people in naval uniforms over the years.
Well, I moved to Portsmouth about 18 years ago, and I lived on High Street about 100 metres up from the sea, and I'd always loved swimming, so it was a fantastic opportunity for me just to be able to swim when I want, how I want. So I'd walk down to the hot walls in the morning, or I'd go running and I'd jump in the sea on the way back, and I'd run home. Just always been attached to the sea. And then I moved to Southsea a couple of years ago, and I still continue swimming.
You learn to stay well clear of jellyfish because they still sting even when they're dead. Talking about it, I'm back there and I'm 6 years old and I'm having a whale of a time, not doing very much at all, nothing very constructive, but I'm having a great time because it's different and I'm free.
In the summer, I'm just eager to get up and go to the beach. And so I would do a lot of, like I say, barefoot walking along the beach. And it's all about just staying grounded.
I like going paddleboarding as well. I've been doing that for quite a few years, and that's just wonderful because you really get to see all of the coastline from a different perspective. So sitting on the board and watching all of the construction that's happened, which is inaccessible to you on this side, but if you're in the water you can see it, and yeah, it just gives you a different perspective of your hometown. And boy, am I proud of Portsmouth and Southsea in particular, because it's so beautiful and a lot of really exciting things happen here, and there's a lot of things all hidden away, and I think they're starting to reveal themselves a little bit more now.
Obviously they're doing the new work on the seafront at the moment, but they've always done that. They've done that every 60 odd years really. I mean, I remember when they did it in the early 80s, and I met the guy who put the groins in to protect the beach near the rowing club by the War Memorial, and they're all worn out now.
And I can remember going down to the seafront a lot of the time to watch boats, the Trafalgar Review and things like that, and tall ships coming in and out.
Our two sons were both born down at Southsea at St Mary's Hospital. During the time of their growing up years, I would take them to Southsea Beach and we would have a picnic, and afterwards they loved throwing stones in the sea. We as a family would visit the museums and in the summer visit the Southsea show so they could see the lovely animals there. After 53 years we're still living down here, still visiting Southsea, still loving the walking along the beach, or just being able to sit and look at the sea.
That summer, every evening was rammed on the beach, and it was interesting because come sort of 7, 8 o'clock it changes and the university students come down and organise themselves in completely different ways, which was really nice to see. And then one generation moves off the beach as another one takes over. So not only you've got the waves rolling in, you've got the people rolling in, and you're super aware of it when you watch it. And that's, for me, one of the most positive things I could say about Southsea Beach is just the inclusivity, the cultural diversity, and the visual metaphor that goes on all day is exciting.
I'm not the greatest sailor, but I just like actually just being out there, and where it's one of the last places which you feel free as a human being, away from built up civilization where there's just so many people now. You don't get a moment to really be out there and thinking clearly.